And we're live. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for a brand new season of Formula 2 as we kick off Tier 2 of the ACOC here at the Silverstone circuit. Yes, Formula 2 is back and better than ever now with a 22 car field and the brand new 2 races per weekend. We're happy to be able to kick off the 2020 season of Formula 2, and what a track to do it. None other than the Silverstone circuit. In the commentary booth today is me, Miran Evji, and joining me for this wonderful 2020 season is Kai. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Miran. I am glad to be here to this time close but open a season of Formula 2. Obviously, last time we were together was the 2019 finale. Plenty of action there, and hopefully plenty of action await us here today, as we can already see a few cars on the circuit trying to set a qualifying lap. We're focusing on Mateusz Proko at the moment in the Harrows. But yeah, it's fantastic to be here. You know, this is one of my favorite racing series as a whole. Real life and in the ACOC always provides some good racing, so quite a few things to look up to today.
Yeah, Formula 2 in the ACOC has always been a fantastic racing series where stories have been written, and we've had fantastic racing. Last season we had the absolutely epic championship battle where 8 drivers could win it at Interlagos, and it was Will Parrish who climbed up from 13th to 1st in only the 2 final races of the season to clinch his Formula 2 title was a very, very fantastic season, and I think basing it off last season will be in for a very, very fun season. A lot of returning faces, but we have some talents from other series as well. Namely, you have the 2019 Formula E champion Ari Soilu, who now accompanies Alex Broster at Campos. Broster, who stays with Campos for what I believe is his 3rd season with the Spanish outfit. It's going to be interesting to see how he will perform. Soilu as well now is joined in the field by his former teammate Tobias Schulenberg, who drives for Charus. Those two had a very, very exciting championship battle between the two while they were teammates in Formula E. Ended up with the former Ari Soilu taking the title, but Schulenberg getting very, very close. It's finally great to be able to see him step up into Formula 2.
Yep, and then we also have, the current field, right? You have the lads we know from last season. You know what? I'm going to be putting my eyes this year on Id de Vries again. Hopefully he can perform this season. Don't forget Nikhil Walji from last season's title decider. Who else was there? I do recognise... Was Martinez in the championship? What did I think?
Martinez was not in there, no. He had quite a bad 2019 season. Id de Vries is an interesting pick, though. We know he has the talent. Obviously, he has one start in Formula 1, which was famously remembered for scoring his first and only podium in Formula 1 history. A feat which some rookies haven't even been able to manage, some that are driving full time. But on his day, he is a very, very good driver, just that sometimes the luck just does not swing his way. However, he is accompanied by Porsche Super Cup champion Ollie Boaks, which is very, very interesting, guys, considering Boaks has not driven in any open wheeler series so far, and he's already making it up to a big series like Formula 2. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's I think it's back to the roots of motorsport, really. Back in the 80s, 90s, even earlier, it was pretty normal for drivers to take touring cars, Grand Touring cars as well, on GT cars, basically. I shouldn't have said Grand Touring, but confusing. But yeah, they took different series, not even touching open wheels before graduating to Formula 1. And it's nice to see it kind of returning. I don't think just going through the ladder is the only way to get to Formula 1, and Ollie Boaks currently kind of keeping the returning the trend, so to say, and I'm fine with it. Maybe this is the new way. Maybe you should go to GT, and then step up to open wheelers. GTs are out for more aggressive racing, but these cars can be sometimes unforgiving to drive.
Yeah, they're very difficult to master, and there's Id de Vries going to the top of the table. But one man, I think, now that we're on the topic of GT champions, Remus McGregor, a man that has been quite the talk of the paddock, finally makes a step up to Formula 2 after conquering DTM in 2018 and having a fantastic Formula E title shot in 2019 as a rookie. Steps up to Formula 2, and I have to say, this man looks very, very promising. He just adapts to the car so quickly, and he does a fantastic job at what he does. So I think he's definitely going to be one man to watch. But as we have all the 22 times on the board here for qualifying, Id de Vries is currently fastest with a 1:46.715, and 2/10 off him is debutant Abra Chowdhury for the brand new high-tech team in P2, and then Eduardo Silva in the Trident is third. Now Abra Chowdhury, we know on his day he has incredible amounts of pace, which he proved in Formula E last season. Driving for the new high-tech team, he's gonna want to make a name for himself and his team, obviously. Yeah,
I mean, high-tech being a new entry, there's always that, possibility of either, like in real life, they've been, they instantly kind of clicked. They've been showing decent results all around, but there's always the case of the tail of the HWA team, right, which might not click. But in my opinion, with this lineup of Grissom and Chowdhury, I think they can do. They can do well, especially with the Pakistani on board. He might be, especially since he's P2 now, he might be the one to watch.
Yeah, I mean they don't have a bad lineup on their hands. Kuba and Grissom, despite being with the struggling Cardinal for last season, did beat the man who is currently on provisional pole at the moment, Ide Weitz, in his debut season of Formula 2. So he could be one man to watch. And Albert Chowdhury did very, very well in Formula E. So it is quite the promising lineup, I would have to say. Some drivers have obviously, or some teams have obviously adopted more traditional lineups. For example, you have a UNI Virtuosi who have stuck with Rosetta Martinez and Daniel Fraser. Daniel Fraser obviously being the first ever winner in Formula 2 history, and Rosetta Martinez tied with only Thomas Mandic in most wins. So it is a very, very solid lineup. And then you have Dams, obviously, who have kept their lineup of Matija Dragovic and Håkon Olsen ever since 2018. So yeah, we have a lot of different lineups across the field. You have some teams which are trying to adopt completely new lineups, and some thinking old can't be beat.
It's definitely a mixed bag, you know. Obviously, experience matters. The longer you drive these cars, the more you understand them. But isn't this the first season of the 18-inch rims?
I believe it might be, actually. So some drivers who have had a lot of experience might have a bit of troubles adapting to it, but we'll see how it goes. There we are with one of the debutants in Formula 2, Thunyatorn Konkum from Thailand for MP Motorsport. Had a very, very good Formula E season. Overall took 2 wins in his 2019 hunt, though one was only awarded half points, unfortunately, so we could not really get him up there with the other guys in the championship. Finished a solid P4 back then, and that has earned him a spot in Formula 2, so we wait to see how he will do this season. Currently he is in P19, but I've been looking to improve it, obviously, at the moment. But some rookies that currently are standing out, we mentioned Albert Chowdhury a bit earlier. Then you have Eric Adelberg for ART Grand Prix in P6. Now, I would say ART, a team that has always, in my eyes, produced very, very good drivers. Jean-Francois Bilot, we know he's been a veteran of Formula 2 for a very long time. However, he has undoubtedly had the pace, and he's been a very solid and consistent driver. Rodrigo Jimenez get himself up into 2nd position. But Below a very, very solid driver on his day. He's got a solid pair of hands, I don't know. And, you know, they've always had solid drivers. 2018 had Mehmet Demirol, who finished 11th in the standings that season. 2 podiums to his name, that's not bad. And 2019 produced Emilia Konechina, who now, as you may know, is in Formula 1. And remember, Konechina was only 7 points off Will Parrish. So everyone was really tipping her for the title. And speaking of title runner-ups, Tobias Schulenberg at the moment for Charus currently is in 21st position. Guess he's just trying to get grips to the car. Obviously Formula E and Formula 2, very, very different kettle of fish, considering with the power and just almost everything about the car is different when you compare the 2 series. But it's finally great to see him step up. He's been a frequenter of the 3rd tier ever since 2017, and it's finally really nice to see that he's got this breakthrough. But we'll see. Schulenberg, as he proved in Formula E, is quite an up-and-down driver. On his day, he can perform fantastically, but when it isn't his day, things just seem to go wrong for the German. Either way, we'll see how he can perform. And as he comes through the middle sector, he's 3/10 off poleman Weitz. at the moment as he heads into Stowe. And through the left-hander he goes. And he's only got 3 corners left just into the Vale chicane. This is going to continue the lap. Make sure to avoid that curb on the inside. That one could be quite deadly. Power down as he heads through Club. And then just down the Hamilton straight and across the line for Tobias Rodeberg. Let's see if he can improve with this lap. And he can. Up into 17th he goes. And ahead of Rowan Shotanus in 18th now, with the newly rebranded BWT HWA Race Lab. For those who don't know, Arden obviously pulled out of Formula 2 after 2019 and rebranded as HWA, still keeping on the BWT sponsor. They're now owned by a brand new team. So may things go as well for them as they did in 18 and 19? We don't know, but we just have to wait and see how things will play out. Kuma Grissom, with 1.5 minutes to go in qualifying, currently sits in last position. The American will be wanting to get out of that spot. Obviously, his fellow compatriot last season, Will Parrish, who took the title, unfortunately could not secure the seat in Formula 1 and thus will take a little bit of a break here in Super Formula and trying to hone his craft. Hello, Kai.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry for this sudden jump scare. I thought my phone was going to fall off.
That is Martinez, Rosetta Martinez, on his debut for UNI Virtuosi, up into 2nd position. That's a 1:46.767, 500ths off in the Weitz. Now there is 56. Yeah, that's
I was about to say, sorry to cut in, but that time set very early on, interestingly enough, by Weitz. Never mind, as soon as I say this, it's Shotanos in the BWT HWA race lap car, going pole position by 6/10ths, I think.
No, that's 1:46.657, I believe that is. But
6 or a 5?
I can't read it.
It's a 5. It's a 5. So
I see it as 6, but I don't know. Okay, whatever. But he's taking provisional pole at the moment. But I was just talking about how obviously BW or HWA, as they're now called, obviously with the new ownership and the new team, if they will still be able to excel, just like Arden did in the previous seasons. And I guess it may be true. Rowan Shotanos currently on provisional pole as the checkered flag falls. We got 11 cars who are just going to finish up their laps, and we'll see if anyone will be able to challenge the Flying Dutchman. Rowan Shotanos, Jean-Francois Bilot is first across the line, and the Frenchman goes up into 6th. Not bad from him at all.
There we have Concom, and he goes up into 17th. Not bad for a debutant. I think that's acceptable. Anybody else crossing the line at the moment? That is Adelberg now. Let's see how he does across the line of the Hamilton straight. It's going to be he's going to stay 9th. And then Nikhil Walji, let's see how he does in the Prema. Doesn't drive the curve, that's good. And that's going to be an improvement up into 6th place for the Canadian driver.
Yeah, that's not bad at all from Nikhil Walji. Would be pretty decently done from him. Rowan Shotanos then, current pole sitter, does not extend his advantage, but that should be enough for the Dutchman. Albert Chowdhury currently on a lap, highest placing rookie at the moment in P8. Let's see if he can try and make up a few more positions on this lap, at least as he heads through Vale, or Club I mean, and then on to the start-finish straight and across the line for Albert Chowdhury. Does not improve. And then a final car across the line will be Daniel Fraser. Let's see if the Brit in his home race can challenge Rowan Shotanos as he goes across the line, and he cannot. And that means that for the first opening round of Formula 2, it is Rowan Shotanos who is on pole position.
Yeah, that is a very nice result. I think that just the BWT sponsorship carries on the power for the Arden team. Obviously, Teresnia's season there always comes to mind for me, where he did so well in that car, and I think these results just kept within the team, no matter the name. Is it Arden or HWA?
So I mean, Arden, in my opinion, has always been a team that produces fantastic drivers. You think back to 2017, I mean, they had Sundevik, really Sundevik and Alex Broster, two very solid drivers. And 2018 obviously had the very, very famous Kai Teresnia, who took 2 wins in only 4 races. And obviously it took, I believe, 2 races to even dethrone him from the championship lead after he'd gone to Formula One. So really just an exceptional driver back then. And then, in 2019, we had Rowan Chotanos, who absolutely took the field by storm. And Will Parrish, I mean, there's no need to introduce him, obviously, the Formula 2 champion. And Arden, obviously, in that year, clinched the championship title in 2019 from ART Grand Prix by 27 points. We'll see if HWA can carry on the legacy and do it this season. But a pole to start off the season should not be too bad at all for HWA in their Formula 2 beginnings.
I agree.
I think before we start off this race, though, it is quite important to say that obviously this is the sprint race, meaning that the top 10 will be reversed. So the man in P10 will be starting on pole, namely Eric Adelberg will start in first, accompanied by Eduardo Silva. So it'll be flipped on its head. And then for the feature, it'll be Chotanos starting on pole again. So that'll be quite interesting then to see what the guys in the bottom part of top 10 can do.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the results from Formula 3 that happened yesterday, it does shake the order up a bit. It does give us some, interesting racing. It does spice the results up, most importantly, this reverse top 10. It should just allow for a way tighter championship fight. And not saying we haven't had those tight championship fights before. I mean, Formula 2, I remember the finale last time, but just looking at it, it does influence the standings a bit. Those few extra points you can score on the sprint race do in the end matter more than anything else, really, I think.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, it's going to be a good race. It's also Silverstone. Come on.
I agree with you. Silverstone is a fantastic circuit. Formula 3, arguably, I would have to say it was a bit chaotic, but it is also Formula 3. That's a series with a lot of young drivers and a lot of cars, and it's bound to get messy. And Formula 2, obviously, I think these guys are going to want to push quite a lot. So I think expect to see a few crashes here and there, but I'm obviously not hoping for anything. Obviously, I'd never hope anything ill on the drivers. But 2019, when we were here in Silverstone, famously, we had Matija Dragovic take the win in 2019. But enough about Matija Dragovic. We're going to go down to the grid. And I'll be taking the first 11, and then you can take the rest. So, starting officially on pole position is Eric Adelberg. On his debut, the Swiss driver has got a lot to do, starting P1 now with the reverse grid, and accompanying him on the front row is Eduardo Silva of Trident. Abra Chowdhury is third, with Jean-Francois Bilot starting in fourth. Then we have Nikhil Walji and Rodrigo Jimenez, the two Premas, starting 5th and 6th, with the two Unai Virtuosis then, Rosetta Martinez and Daniel Fraser. Idevite starts in 9th, and then the technical pole sitter Roland Chotanos, who will be on pole for the feature, starts in 10th, with Remus McGregor, DTM champion, in P11.
Then in P12 we have we have Sundevik, Richard Sundevik. I don't know why I struggled on that. But yeah, in the MP Motorsport car, followed by Ari Soilu in the Campos. Then we have Matheus Puoko in the Harus Racing System number 11 car, followed by Hagon Olsen in 15th. Then we have Oli Boaks, the, as you said, Porsche Super Cup champion, if I'm correct. Yeah, in 16th, followed by Sunyatorn Konkum from Thailand in 17th. Then we have Adam Hidiat in the Trident, followed by the Formula E runner-up, Tobias Schwulenberg, right? He was runner-up.
Yeah.
Now you see, I remember. Then we have Alex Broster and Campos in 20th, Matija Dragovic in 21st, and the man who's starting last both of the races, Cuban Grissom from America in the high-tech, rounds off the field in 22nd. I think we're ready to go.
Yes, let's get down to the grid then for the first ever Formula 2 sprint race here at Silverstone as we're going to kick off the season. Adelberg on pole as we have 6 lights. And we're underway for the British Grand Prix, and it seems to be a good start for Adelberg, but Silva there has gotten quite a good getaway as they head into the first corner, and someone's already off and someone spun around. I think that's below actually, and the Frenchman has been tagged into the first corner. That's Grissom as well, and below's involved. That's Hidayat involved into the in the crash there, but Adelberg leads on from Chowdhury. Silva and then Chowdhury. There's Martinez and Walji side by side then. The Prema versus the UNI Virtuosi battling away for 4th position as they head down the Wellington Straight and into Brooklyn. It's going to be Jimenez on the inside line of the Filipino driver as he tries to defend from the 3-time race winner. Martinez hanging on the inside line though as Jimenez, I think, is going to have to see the position. Goes a bit wide though, and that's going to compromise him an exit. Here comes Martinez teammate Fraser in his home race has climbed up to 6th position as into Cops. Jimenez is going to try to defend his position, but he can't do much from the Brit as it's going to be Daniel Fraser who defends.
That was a hectic start to the race, and it's still going on, as I think I saw some side-by-side movement from Maggots and Beggars. That section that you have to really be brave to go. 2 white, 1 by 1 here. No, it's not going to work. That's Dragovic now to the inside of one of the Harus cars, the only remaining car. That's Schulenberg. So, by the looks of it, 3 cars out of the race. It's still Dragovic and Schulenberg battling. We go now with Shotanos, who's finding his teammate Ramos McGregor here. The 2 beautiful pink HWA cars side by side now into Vale. Let's see who goes down to that. I think it might be Shotanos. Let's see. Still clean, good stuff. Here it is. Rowan to go, in front as they cross club. That's not the greatest line from McGregor. He's being vulnerable to Ari Soilu, the Finnish driver, to the inside into the first corner into Abi, and Soilu does not get it, and Broster's dropped to last. Yeah, what happened there?
Broster's crashed. Now I think we're focused on Ari Soilu. Here's his teammate Alex Broster. Now we have to see what happened here to the Brit in his home race, and he was yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he just went over the curb, and I think that might have probably broke something on the car because Broster is out. I wonder though if we could get a replay, or I guess we'll wait until the battling is kind of settled. But McGregor defends from Ari Soilu, then defends the final point position. Didn't get the best line as he was battling with Ron Shotanos there, as Adelberg still leads from Silva. Now let's see what happened at the start though.
Also, just to mention, these cars are very sensitive. They don't have an onboard starter, so when you stall them, you're done for. And I think that's what happened in Broster's case. He just stalled the car while trying to get it to stop, and that's what caused it. But yeah, let's go with below. Good start from the ART driver, you have to say that. What happened there? Into Abbey. He just goes wide and straight into the 8th.
Yeah, that camera angle didn't show much. You may see at the build.
Ooh.
I think someone just squeezed him. I don't know who that was. I think that was someone behind. I think it might have been Chowdhury. We're gonna see onboard with Chowdhury then as they head into the first corner, and yeah,
nowhere to go for either of them really. Below was on a trajectory that he would have gone wide on the exit of the corner no matter what would have happened, and then Chowdhury was just there on the outside. There were more to go really. Just try to take the racing line, and this is what caused Below to go out. And then we had one of the Harus cars involved as well, I believe.
Yeah,
they just piled. No, sorry, not Harus. I'm sorry. It was 2 other cars. No, because Puerto is still in the race. It was a Trident.
Trident was Hidayat. Yeah, Hidayat.
And then one more car.
He went out. It was Hidayat, Hidayat below, and I think. I'm trying to think here. Who was the third one? Might it have been?
It looked like a white car. It was Grissom. Yeah.
Grissom, right? Yeah. It's a shame for those three then. But the show must go on. Daniel Fraser chasing down his teammate Rosetta Martinez as Stundetorn Konkum's going to try to battle the Norwegian Håkon Olsen for P15. Eduardo Silva is still hanging on to the back of Erik Adelberg. Currently on lap 2, there is no DRS, but just shortly, there it is. DRS has been enabled, and the drivers obviously will be able to use it if they are within 1 second of the car ahead. Remus McGregor setting the fast lap of the race, quickly usurped by Matija Dragovic though in P17. He'll get no extra point for it though, unfortunately for him, as Fraser tries to attempt a move on the inside of his UNI Virtuosi teammate. Martinez leaves the space as the two go wheel to wheel. Fraser on the inside does not get the best of exits as Martinez is going to have the DRS and is going to try to sail past his teammate. There is Jimenez trying to make it 3 wide. He has to stay back though at the moment as he's going to try to follow through Martinez, and Martinez does get past Daniel Fraser, and Fraser now has to defend 6th position from Rodrigo Jimenez. Jimenez goes a bit wide though, and I think there comes Ide Weitz on the inside line as they head through Woodcut. It's going to be Weitz ahead of Jimenez for the time being, as Rodrigo is going to be on the inside line of the Swede. Now Ide's going to have to watch out. Last year he collided with Daniel Waller here, and he's not going to want to do it again as they head through Maggots and Beckett's wheel to wheel. And side by side they will go, going a bit wide though. That got very scary, but it's going to be Weitz who is going to be ahead of Jimenez. Very, very nicely done from the Red Bull Junior, as Rowan Shotanis is now going to try to dip his fingers into this.
Yeah, Shotanis had a front row seat to that amazing battle. Now he's capitalizing off of the squeeze that Jimenez got from Weitz. He's going to now go to the inside into Stowe. Should be a difficult move because the outside line gives you that exit speed you need, but there we go, a nice squeeze on the outside curb, and that's the HWA car through. We have a few more overtakes all over the field, up and down the order. We have a few more side-by-side moments. That's Boaks now with the MP Motorsport car of Kuoko. He's gonna go. Oh, that's the second car that's happened.
Oh, and he's went into Boaks. And I think Sundvik's just kept it, but that's going to be quite controversial. Olsen's going to try it on Ollie Boaks as they head into Abbey. Everyone makes it through cleanly, but Olsen has not got the best of exits there. Konkum is going to try it on the Norwegian now. Here's his shot on the Dams car as he's going to try to hang it on the outside, but Håkon's going to defend his 15th position. There's Martinez and Weitz battling, so either Weitz is making up a lot of good positions here in this race. There's Shotanis battling with the Swede actually, as the two are gonna go wheel to wheel. Either Weitz defending the inside line from the Dutchman, and he does so not before Rowan goes a bit wide, inviting Rodrigo Jimenez once again to the battle, and he is gonna try to slip past the Dutchman into Kops. Can he make the move stick as he's gonna go around the outside of Rowan Shotanis, and he gets it done. Remus McGregor, the two pink HWAs are going to try to battle as well if they head into Maggots and Beckett's wheel to wheel as well. And oh, you can see how close it is between the two, but McGregor makes it stick.
Yeah, they nearly broke the number 1 rule of racing, which is to not hit your teammate, but yeah, I also mixed up Sundevik and Puoko in their accident. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, here we go. McGregor goes through. Weitz now is trying to climb through Martinez to the inside of Stowe, not really able to make the move just yet. Best course of action really is to wait for the Wellington straight and the DRS on there, but there's Sundevik now still side by side with that was Oli Boaks, I believe. Still not giving up despite that mistake that was made into Club. That curb really catches you out when you ride over it, and but that's a car.
And that's Shotanis.
Oh,
and
no.
Shotanis, that is the pole sitter who I think has most likely made the same mistake as Broster and Sundevik and gone over the curb, and that sent him into a spin. Now, if my theory is correct here, we'll see if it is, as he heads through Vale.
Still would be weird because, you know, the Broster crash was caused by a side-by-side move. Never mind, there we go. He just tried to get as much time on his teammate Sparks Fly. That's his race done.
That's a massive shame for Rowan Shotanis, but it won't be too bad for him, considering he'll at least start on pole for the feature. As we look a bit further up the field, Abrar Chowdhury in his first race, feeling the heat from Old Fox, Nikhil Walji in 4th for Prema. He's got the DRS on the Pakistani driver, who has a 2.2 gap deficit to Eduardo Silva. Now Walji will be wanting to overtake the high-tech as soon as possible, but I don't think it'll be as easy.
Yeah, definitely. It's not easy to overtake in Formula 2. Well, it is easy, but it's not easy to get through your rivals, right? It just looks easy on paper. There is a lot of mental fortitude. Also, you can see a Discord logo on Nikhil Walji's car. That's a reminder to join the Discord of this league if you haven't yet, to be part of this amazing series. This is Schulenberg now to the inside of Matija Dragovic, side by side of the Dam's car, nearly hits the man on the exit of Cops into Maggots and Beckett's now, an unforgiving section, especially when you're side by side. But it is the Damska defending. They nearly touch Schulenberg on the limit here, but he keeps on moving forward. As now Walji still behind Chaudhry. It's going to be a tight battle between the two, and there it goes. It divides onto Rosetta Martinez side by side of the Uni Virtuosi car, and it's going to be the Swede in front, closes the door, and then we get the other HWA car, the only one in fact in this race that's remaining, with the Prema of Jimenez. McGregor is not going to give up that easily. He's going to be trailing that beautiful Italian car as much as he can as we go down the order. That's Schulenberg and Dragovic still battling for the wooden spoon, really, for the penultimate position on the grid, but in the end, those matter mentally, as we can see. Nikhil Walji is still behind Chaudhry. He has Fraser for company as well, which we will have to keep in mind, as we'll have a small DRS train over here on the Wellington Straight. The Prema does not, the DRS is not enough here. He's going to have to wait for the next lap, but the next DRS is doing good braking, though, gains a few tenths here and there. But yeah, we will definitely keep an eye on this battle as it goes, as the race goes on.
Yeah, it is a very, very interesting battle, this one. Chaudhry having to defend for Walji, and then Daniel Fraser's caught up into this as well. Obviously, they'll have to clear Chaudhry quite quickly if they want a chance of catching up to Adelberg and Silva himself, who has just fallen out of the DRS range of the Swiss driver. It'll be interesting to see if he can actually catch back up to this at the moment, as there's Remus McGregor getting his elbows out of it as he's trying to follow Rodrigo Jimenez through Maggots and Beckett. I have to say though, one man who's standing out today, Ide Weitz, who's doing a fantastic job at the moment, just cutting his way through the field. He's now got a 2.2 second gap to Daniel Fraser at the moment. So I think now is the time to play catch up as we approach the halfway point of the race. There's Walji already trying on Albert Chaudhry. Chaudhry defends from the outside as Walji is going to try to follow him through. Make sure to not go over that curb there. Very common mistake that we've seen today, as Ide Weitz, speak of the devil, sets the fastest lap of the race now. And you can see he's actually catching quite decently.
Yeah, Weitz definitely has the pace. Mind you, he started 9th in this race after the reverse top 10 kicked in. And look at this, that's a mistake from Chaudhry, and now Walji's going to instantly use that to his advantage. The Prema goes through. He does not have DRS though. He did it before the detection zone, which is a mistake on the spot already, as Chaudhry flies through. It's going to be a battle here. Chaudhry defends the inside line. There's nowhere for the Prema to go. A bit of a mistake in mid-corner as well. Fraser is going to catch up. There is Jimenez battling McGregor with Soiler behind. Side by side between the two. Currently the HWA car gets the better line. Martinez goes very wide onto the gravel, and that's Soilu flying through as well. There's the Harus car of Puoko now involved as well, and we also have Ollie Boaks not too far behind. Side by side now is going to be a dive from Mateus, and it's going to be the battle's going to continue onto Maggots and Beckett's. Boaks is really trying to get involved. They're weaving between one slipstream line to the other as they go side by side, and that's contact. Oh dear, that is... How did they not spin away there? So lucky between the two, but Puoko definitely needs to ease off the aggression a bit. That was too risky.
Yeah, very, very risky for Mateus Puoko as he battles his fellow compatriot Rodrigo Jimenez for the final points paying position. But yeah, got a bit hairy there. Luckily, it didn't end up in tears for the pair of them, as Ide Weitz now catches up to this pack Fraser trying to catch up to Nikhil Walji, who had to basically stomp on the brakes to avoid going into the back of Abra Chowdhury into Luffield. I saw he was so much slower through the corner because he just braked so hard. But yeah, they were really just battling it out. That was fantastic to see. Same with Jimenez and Poco. They were really going at it, and really just proves that these drivers go all out for every single position, and it's absolutely thrilling to see. As speaking of which, we have Olsen and Konkum and even Schwulenberg fighting for 14th position. You could bunch in Matija Dragovic there as well in 17th.
Yep, as well, I hope these two races, I mean these, well, practically 4 races that we will have in Formula 3 and Formula 2 will be a great segue into Formula 1, which will also have a race here tomorrow, I think. Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a great way to start the season, to get people hyped up, because Formula 1 can be anything at Silverstone. As here we go, that's a bit of an aggressive line for Walji. He's definitely starting to push to try and get that final podium spot in this sprint, away from Ambar Chowdhury. But it's not going to be an easy task. He has DRS, he's right behind him. Vale is a good overtaking opportunity. Stowe is Vale really, but that's not the point. Here we go to the inside. Chowdhury does defend, gets a bit of a squeeze. I think this is Walji through, side by side. It's still going to be a battle. I think Fraser is trying to get involved into here. So is it the Vites. They all cross.
Very wide. Yeah, he's gone very wide. You can see he's lost that, but it is Nikhil Walji who gets past for 3rd position, so not bad at all from Nikhil Walji as he gets his way through Abra Chowdhury, as Matthias Poco chases down Rodrigo Jimenez. There's Daniel Fraser, who's going to try and get past the high-tech car as well. He's got Ide Weitz, his former teammate turned rival there, but now he is going to be on the offense to Abra Chowdhury as the two go wheel to wheel. Chowdhury gets the DRS though, Fraser doesn't. And that means that Ide Weitz is going to be on the offense here now into Brooklands. He's going to be on the inside of his former teammate, whom he accompanied that Carlin 2 years ago, as he's going to be on the outside, but that's not the ideal line through this corner. And look at that, he's lost out as a result, and Daniel Fraser is going to stay ahead of the Swede. There's Matthias Poco though, defending from Ollie Boaks in 12th position.
Yeah, Broco doing a nice job. We have this nice little pack up here. There's Sundevic trying to get through Ollie to the inside. Just the MP Motorsport car. Aggressive line through Cops. It might work out as we're following Daniel Fraser right behind Chowdhury. Walji has flown away from this pack. You can tell how much Chowdhury was just, holding these guys up, as Fraser is going to be probably the next car to pass the high-tech car here to the inside of Stowe now. He might actually complete it before the corner's over. No, gives Chowdhury the squeeze, and there we go. I think that's this little battle over, as that's Weitz now aggressively to the inside out of nowhere.
That's very late from Ide Weitz, but he hasn't been able to complete the move, as they're going to head through Vale. He's set himself up very nicely here though, for another move quite possibly, as Boaks has actually gone past Rodrigo Jimenez for 11th position. Very, very well done from the teammate of Ide Weitz there. Up into 11th position he goes, and he could be in for some nice points, but there is obviously only 2 laps to go, so he's going to have to do it quite quickly. Same with Ide Weitz. If he wants to overtake Abra Chowdhury, you do not want to get stuck behind him, especially now when Danny Fraser and Nikhil Walji are going to be pulling away from you.
Exactly, as we can see, the DRS not enough to get the Weitz right in the back of Chowdhury as they go through Luffield now. He is getting closer with each corner, but he will need that DRS straight on hanger to make a move really, unless he gets enough slipstream into Cops. But I don't know, Cops is not that great of an overtaking spot anyways. Yep, no move from the device just yet, not close enough. He's going to trail that high-tech car. Meanwhile, when it comes to the situation for the battle of the lead, Adelberg has lost a lot of time to Silva. As Ide Weitz is going for it all over the back of the high-tech car. I want to mention that Silva is catching Adelberg for the race lead. The gap is less than a second, so with two and 1/4 of a lap to go, we might see a battle for the lead.
Quite possibly, obviously, if you remember back to 2018, on the last lap, if my memory serves me correct, I believe you had was it Fernando Tost and Rosetta Martinez with a final lap battle for the race lead. It was Martinez who came out victorious in that
Speaking of
battle.
Martinez.
Oh, and that is commentator's curse at its best. Rosetta Martinez.
He was going.
Yeah, no, he keeps going, but he's gone down and he's out of the points. And Ari Soilu now fighting with Remus McGregor, his Formula E title rival, for 7th position. That is now.
But Martinez is not having a good day. Look at the amount of dust flying from that Univirtuosi car. That's not what you want to see. Unlucky incident. Not much else I can say, really.
Yeah, that's quite a shame for the Filipino. That could not have been at a worse time for me to say that. But Kai, I think you were correct on this, because look at Eduardo Silva, and he has caught up to Eric Adelberg, and he is trailing the Swiss driver, and I think it is gonna be one hell of a final lap shootout. Silva is gonna be pushing for his first win in Formula 2 ever since his debut in 2018, and Adelberg, who is gonna be gunning for a win on his Formula 2 debut. We'll see how this will work for the pair of them. Either way, they will be chasing down their first win in F2.
Yeah, I think Silva might even get it done. No, I thought Silva could get it done into Stowe before we even started the final lap, but he doesn't, which is good for him, because he does have more DRS to use on Adelberg, which is ever so crucial in this era of ACOC, really, with all the DRS and, you know, all the fancy stuff being introduced every season, which is great, of course.
Yeah,
it does improve the quality. As there you see the Weitz now and Chowdhury battling. Weitz doesn't use the aggressive inside. No, he does. Oh no! Oh,
it's fine.
Yeah,
but he did compromise himself a bit on exit there. Either way, I think he might have to settle for 6th position, unfortunately, as his teammate Ollie Boaks is pressuring Mateusz Poco for 9th position. But the final lap, it is all or nothing for Silva and Adelberg at the moment. We're gonna be pushing for their first wins in Formula 2, as there is Ollie Boaks still trying to pressure the Brazilian Mateusz Poco, as we watch on Poco's countryman Eduardo Silva, who is trying to get Adelberg. They head through Brooklands and Luffield. Silva doesn't get the best run through those couple of corners, so he's just gonna have to hope for an absolutely perfect sector 3 here, as they're gonna head into Copse and then through Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, he made a mistake in Brooklyn. Suddenly just tightened the steering. He is definitely feeling the pressure on himself. The pressure fighting for the lead. Made a big mistake, lost around 3 to 4 tenths of a second. So he might have compromised his chance for the lead there, but he is gaining ever so slightly. The DRS will definitely help him fight, as there they go, on to Hanger for the final time in the sprint race. All DRS available to Silva, but it's not going to be enough. Eduardo is going to have to find a different way of catching up to Adelberg. It's going to be difficult. I don't think he'll be able to do it. I think it will be the Swiss driver winning this race.
Yeah.
Eric Adelberg is now going to cross Club, and he's going to win the British Grand Prix Sprint in Formula 2. Congratulations to him. Very, very good drive. Dominant. From the race starters, they see the Weitz nearly clinching the curb, but unable to go for Chowdhury. We're going to... Oh, no!
And that is Jimenez round. And I think, is he going to be able to get it turned around? I think he's just going to be able to get it, but that is quite the shame for Rodrigo Jimenez. Martinez is going to go for it, and they make contact, but it's still going to be to the line. And who's going to get it? And they just crossed the line side by side.
Jimenez gets it by, I think, the tip of the nose of this car. Oh, what a race.
That was fantastic. And the funniest thing, we are not done. We got the feature race just ahead of us. But Eric Adelberg A winner in DTM, a winner in Formula E, and a winner in Formula 2. He added to his collection, and I think he now becomes the driver with, I think, the most wins in tiers. Like, I think he has the most wins in different tiers, I believe. So that is quite the stat for you, and it really goes to show he is quite the versatile driver, but he takes the sprint race victory here on his Formula 2 debut, with Eduardo Silva and Nikhil Walji rounding out the podium. Then you have Daniel Fraser in 4th with Abrar Chowdhury in 5th, who just held off Ida Weitz there in 6th, who also clinched the fastest lap of the race. He did very, very well. And then you have Remus McGregor finishing a very, very good 7th with Ari Soilu in 8th. Then Matthias Poco finishes 9th with Ollie Boaks in 10th, and 11th will be Tunjatorn Konkum.
Yeah, and then you have Sundevik followed by Olsen, Schwulenberg, Dragovic, and oh god, I can't read that. My screen share has just gone.
That is Martinez.
Oh yeah.
Martinez, Jimenez, Shotanus, below Hidayat Grissom.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so let's just immediately skip to the feature race. But I guess now I think it's a bit of time to voice your opinions. I think that was quite a good race. We had a very, very thrilling last couple of laps. And I think Erik Adelberg has done a very, very good job.
I agree. I mean, starting 10th now, he's going to have a bigger challenge, but it's very difficult, in my opinion, to win from pole in a spec series like Formula 2. It does give you the advantage, but when you have a pack of cars, pack of people that started in front of you, qualified in front of you, they have theoretically the better setups. It is an achievement, especially since at one point of the race he had like a 2 second gap, if not a bigger one. So
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it is an achievement for him. The Swiss driver really showing what he can do today. But yeah, when it comes to opinion on the racing, it's really good. It's a good preludium to what we will have now in the feature race. Those additional 4 laps will definitely be beneficial for us as viewers and commentators, considering the amount of battling we had. But also, it's going to test the drivers mentally. Can they withstand those additional 4 laps? Will we see mistakes like that of Jimenez, who just spun on the final corner of the final lap, costing him so many positions? It was a downwards race for Jimenez anyways, but that was just like a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it was a really big shame for Rodrigo Jimenez and Rosetta Martinez as well, I would say. But Ida Weitz, I think, really shone in the sprint race. I mean, from 9th to 6th, and he almost got Chowdhury there. Just got a bit unlucky, I would say. But now we're here for the sprint race, or the feature, I mean. But we'll just list off the grid really quickly. So it's Rowan Shotano starts on pole from Ida Weitz, Daniel Fraser, Martinez, Jimenez, Walji below, Chowdhury, Silva, Adelberg, McGregor. We're on turbo mode, so you'll just take the rest.
Okay, then we have Solveig, Hisoide, Poco, Orson, Box, Konkum, Hidayat, Schwulenberg, Borsa, Dragovic, and Grissom.
Yep, there we go. And now down to the grid for the feature race. 16 laps ahead of us. Shotanos is now on pole from Ida Weitz as we have 6 lights. And we're underway here at Silverstone. Very good start for Rowan Shotanos. Weitz not getting the best of starts. He might have to watch out for Fraser there behind as he defends from the Brit. But everyone gets through turn 1 of Walji. Walji spins as they head through the first corner. I think that might be the Canadian out. As look at that, there's 3 wide there, but Konkum backs out of that as they head into turn 2 and 3, and that is Broster, who's been caught up in all of that. But Walji is out of the British Grand Prix feature race here in Formula 2 as Soilu defends from Matthias Poco for 12th position. McGregor holds the P10 from Erik Adelberg as Soilu now goes side by side with Matthias Poco round the outside of the Brazilian Indycar Ruse as he goes on the inside. I think he should be able to defend from Erik Adelberg, and he does so. Shotanos leads from Daniel Fraser, is going up to second ahead of Ida Weitz, Rosetta Martinez and Rodrigo Jimenez there in 5th. As Håkon Olsen battling with Matthias Poco as well. Konkum and Hidayat are having a scrap too as Boaks defends from Tobias Schwulenberg as the German. Yeah, Grissom is out again. We're gonna see what happened here at the start though. So Walji got tagged at the start, and Grissom was out as well. And it was...
He just loses it.
Just lost it and stalled.
Yeah, but what happened to Nikhil Walji? It was so tight in that turn one again, just a cluster of cars, but I don't know if he dropped this on his own or was he pushed. Let's see, on board the Prema goes to the inside and just I think he just kept turning.
I think if we get the rear onboard camera of that, I think it would show it a bit better. I think, yeah.
No, he just lost it. He just lost it on his own.
Huh, that is strange.
No,
never mind. No, he got tagged by Jimenez. That's his teammate.
Oh.
And Rule 1 of Motorsport has been broken officially, ladies and gentlemen, this early into the ACOC season. But that is Nikhil Walji out, and I think some stern words will be had at the Prema team meeting later on today, as Broster and Hidayat go side by side. Alex Broster defends from Adam Hidayat there. Hidayat on the inside line tries to hang on to the Brit, but I don't think he's been able to make the move, although he might be under pressure from Matija Dragovic there as they head through Vale, hops over the curb there and tries to adjust his line to try and get a better exit compared to the now American Adam Hidayat, who obviously now runs under dual nationality, opting for the American flag, but he's being chased down by the Serbian Matija Dragovic, who is last. I guess this is the fight for the wooden spoon once again, involving Matija Dragovic. But Ron Shotanus leads the race from Daniel Fraser by 7/10.
Yeah, very good getaway from here. The rest of the pack just slept on the start, really. That's what it looked like. Shotanus just immediately launched and invites, just, I don't know, just slept on the start. And this is a big advantage to the Dutch drivers. Now we're still following Dragovic, try and get through Hidayat. But yeah, luckily no spinners in the final corner curb. That's always good to see. We're going to now go with Below, who's right behind Chowdhury here. I have to say, the Pakistani driver, really impressive today.
His defensive work, I have to say, although obviously this is only his first ever Formula 2 race, I think he's done a fantastic job. And he is, I have to say, really breaking expectations at the moment as the highest placing rookie. But Ida Weitz falling away a bit from Daniel Fraser. He's at 10, or is second off Fraser at the moment. And Weitz might have to watch out for Rosetta Martinez. And that's Matija Dragovic.
That's not good. The damn car's beached in the gravel. Let's see what happens side by side. Oh no.
Oh, and just gets forced off the road by Hidayat. And then he went over the curb, and that really just upset the car and sent him into a spin. And yeah, just beached on the curb. That's a massive shame for Matija Dragovic.
To be fair though, Hidayat got very lucky that the spinning car of Dragovic did not collect him there, because it looked like that for a second. So I guess he got lucky in that sense. But yeah, that's another car out. 19 cars left, as DRS is officially enabled. That's Assetto Corsa's line to snap them up 3 out of 16. No spinners on the final corner curb. This is where the racing will get a bit hectic though, because Fraser's right in the back of the race leader now, and with DRS, we're bound to see a lead change here.
Daniel Fraser going for the win for the opening round of the season. Where have I heard this one before? Either way, he is looking set on the pace today as he sets the fastest lap of the race. And Shotanus, he is going to have to watch out. There is Jean-Francois Bilot giving Albar Chowdhury a very good run for his money as they're going to head into Brooklands and Luffield side by side. No, not at all actually, considering Bilot was ahead in the DRS zone, meaning that Chowdhury did get the DRS. So Chowdhury successful defense from Jean-Francois Bilot.
Yeah, I love the mind games of the DRS detection zone this race weekend so far. It has had an impact quite a few times already, and I just like to see it, you know. This is what racing is about. As now Silva, the man who couldn't win the sprint race, trying to get immediately through Below. Started by side into Maggots. No, Silva thinks better of it. Actually, no, he might go for it. Switches the lines, goes to the outside, forces Below to go wide, and now that's an empty Motorsport car of Sundevic that is inside. They're going to be side by side on the exit. Who's going to come out on top? Sundevic has the better line. And no, never mind that. It is Silva in front. Both of them have DRS. Is going to be a tight battle, as that was McGregor nearly going through. As we're going to go with Jimenez, who's battling Martinez. These two already quite a few scraps between them this weekend, as it is going to be the Prema to go on top. Back to this pack, no moves being made, everybody trailing behind one another, albeit we might see some changes. That's a very aggressive drive over the curb from Sundevik, as then we're going to go with Adelberg, sprint race winner, not making too much ground up, currently out of points in fact, but this might change.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he got fantastic race and he got fantastic pace in the sprint race. We'll see if he can carry over that into the feature. Obviously, it is only lap 4 out of 16, so we'll see what the man from Switzerland can do, as he is trailing Really Sundevik at the moment in 10th position. But Schotanus still leads from Fraser, and Ida Weitz is just hanging on there to his former teammate. We'll see how the top 3 can do. Either way, they are very, very close at the moment. Rodrigo Jimenez just overtaking Rosetta Martinez, and you know, he could be in the fray a few laps later as well.
Definitely, as we're following below, close to Chowdhury. I have to say though, Chowdhury is, as you said, the defensive work of that man is just so it's amazing, you know. I haven't seen things like that last season in Brazil. I know, it's just great to see, but yeah, he's building a bit of a train now. No side-by-side action just yet into Maggots and Beckett's, albeit I think midway through the race we're going to see more of those. Oh, never mind, there we go. Speaking of which, Ollie Bogues, and that is Matthew Groko.
Yeah, it's gonna be Bogues who defends from the Brazilian. There's Fraser on Schotanus for the race lead, and the two are gonna go wheel to wheel into the Vale chicane. It's gonna be Schotanus on the inside of Fraser, having to go the long way round. Can Daniel Fraser take the lead of his home race? Yes, he can, as Daniel Fraser takes the lead of the British Grand Prix away from Rowan Schotanus. And I have to say, this man is looking to be on very good pace, Kai.
Yeah, that's true, but now he has to be cautious because this little battle slowed both of them down, and you have the Swedish menace. It divides right behind him, the man who has had amazing pace in the sprint. You have to be careful about him, and on top of this, you know, Fraser stripped himself away from the of the RS. That's going to be a massive hindrance for him, because Schotanus might be able to just fly by him if he's not careful enough on a straight. So yeah, we're gonna have to see if Fraser can hold on and defend from the Dutchman's approaches. Here we go. That's a bit of a wider line, trying to maximize the power output here. That HWA car has pace today, and this is not the final time Fraser and Schotanus have battled this race. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, I can definitely see these guys battle quite a bit more often, but Rowan Schotanus, I don't think he'll be able to let that slide. But he's just gonna have to keep on Daniel Fraser at the moment, and then try and punch his way past the Brit. But Daniel Fraser once again excels at the opening race of the season, and currently is in the lead, proving that he has still got it as a Formula 2 driver. Really Sundevik currently chasing down Remus McGregor. McGregor currently in 9th position then. Well, we wanted to hold on to that position. Obviously, the feature race is going to be where points are going to matter. Full points will be dished out this time for the drivers. The standard 25, 18, 15 and vice versa. As opposed to the sprint races 10 and going down.
As we follow this little mid-pack here, that's still led by Chowdhury. I swear he's going to give us the most action in the midfield by building this pack we're seeing on the screen. There we go, Schotanus though, closer to Fraser, less than 5/10, as that's now Concom battling with one of the Harus cars.
And contact, and it sent Schwulenberg careening into the gravel, and that put both of them out of the feature race.
Oh, drama quite early on here. We haven't seen that crash in the sprint. That's unfortunate for both Concom and Schwulenberg. The Formula E drivers, I think, a bit struggling today.
Yeah, the Formula E title rivals coming together. That is quite the shocker.
Really unfortunate. I think Concom just went a bit overboard of the move, and unlucky. But yeah, we're focusing back on the race lead battle between Fraser, Schotanus and Weitz.
And you can see Jimenez is there lurking in the background as well. I think he's catching up to these guys.
He is, and he has an over a second of a gap to Martinez, so no worries about the car behind. He is about to enter the DRS range of it divides, which is going to be very crucial and beneficial to him, as Fraser pulled a bit of a 7/10 gap there on the exit of Chapel. So Weitz now a bigger threat to Schotterness than Schotterness is to Fraser.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting how this is going to play out. But Weitz, I think, eventually is going to have to watch out for Rodrigo Jimenez behind, who seems to be catching up. I think Jimenez just needs to get in the DRS zone. There's Olsen fighting with Soilu, but Olsen's might have to watch out for Ollie Boaks behind the Brit in the Carlin in his home race. Absolutely repping the United Kingdom at the moment. As Håkon Olsen tries to catch up to the Finnish Auri Soilu.
Yeah, the field and the top of it's spread now. Nobody really with an attacking range of anyone, but that's now Olsen very close to Soilu. I'm going to follow this little pack through. Bogues definitely trying to be like his teammate in the Weitz with the push through the field today, so definitely keep an eye on the second Red Bull sponsored Carlin. But yeah, here we go with Olsen not catching up enough to Soilu. McGregor, yeah, I was about to say, McGregor now very close to Silva though, so we might see the Scotsman try and pull a bit of a cheeky move here and there on the Trident in front of him.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this will play out for the both of them then. Silva is gonna have to watch out, and obviously he isn't gaining much on below ahead, so McGregor is gonna want to try something here, but at the same time defending from really Sundevik there in 10th position, who looks poised to strike, if I have to say so myself. He's just been sitting there waiting patiently behind the young Scotsman, and we'll see if he will do anything in the coming laps. So we look a bit further down the field. There's Håkon Olsen still chasing down Ari Soilu. As Olsen, I think, is going for it on the inside line. No, he does not go for it. He stays back. However, he does go a bit wide. I think if that's intentional or not, we don't know. Maybe he's trying to adjust his line, or maybe he just made a mistake. Either way, he's still going to try and close down that gap to Ari Soilu, as Daniel Fraser is the fastest lap. Now that we approach lap 8 out of 16, just crossed the halfway point of the race.
Now we go with Adelberg right behind Sundevik. Riley, I think, is going to have to pick up the pace, use McGregor in front of him as an advantage to pull away from the non-point scoring ART at the moment. Looking at the gaps, the field has kind of spread though. Not many surprising situations happening. McGregor though trying to go on to Silva, trying to not waste too much time, picking the inside line here, trying to be smart about it, not go too wide. On the exit of Luffield as they go through Woodcote now, about to enter Cops, and that is Adelberg, I think. It is Adelberg trying to go on to Sundevik. It doesn't work, but he's going to try it again. If he can pick up some slipstream, he's probably going to try it into Hanger, and then into the Stowe corner. But yeah, I'm still monitoring the situation at the top, and it's not really changing much. Adelberg now with the slipstream on the Hanger straight, right behind the MP Motorsport car of Sundevik. It's not going to be a move though. He's going to tuck in behind him. He's going to try and minimize the gap as much as he can. We go with McGregor now, who's close to Silva. No moves being made into Vale though. Same with Club. Not much out. This race is way calmer. I think it's because of the elongated distance, right? Because it's the feature race, it takes bigger points. The drivers do keep that in mind, and they are not as risky as they are in the sprint. Which, I mean, fair game to them. You don't want to risk losing big points with dumb moves.
Yes, of course. I think drivers are taking a bit more of a calculated approach to how they will take things and make overtakes. You see the top three is in an absolute stalemate at the moment with how and when they're going to make overtakes. Fraser, though, he's just been smashing in lap after lap after lap of fastest laps, and I have to say that man looks absolutely on fire right now. And I have no idea how Ron Chatanas and Ida Weitz are even hanging on, but still, Daniel Fraser, I have to say, is doing a fantastic job at the moment. Really Sundvik, though, catching still in, still on the back of Remus McGregor. You see trailing very, very close behind. Could maybe go for a move as we ride on board with the Swedish-Korean driver as we head through Maggots and Beckett's on board. You can see the absolute speed from the onboard. Really, really captures it, I would say. But now then through out of Chapel and down the hangar straight. It's gonna have the DRS, but it won't do much as everyone here is stuck in a bit of a DRS train.
Yeah, you can also see how heavy those cars are thanks to the 18-inch rims. They're pretty much completely different cars, you know, compared to what the drivers had last year. So here we go. It's all calm at the moment. Nobody's not much is happening, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, you know, when it becomes the sprint, sort of, you know, the final 4 laps, I think, is when we might see more action. I understand the approach of the drivers, which I mentioned a bit before. You know, the calm one, the approach of just wanting to calmly hand out most of this race and then think about what's going to happen in the final laps. This is where you start to push. This is where you really want to capitalize on any mistake. But yeah, Fraser now pulls a 1.2 second gap over Shortanos Voigt within half a second of the BWT HWA car. I wanted to say Arden. It just rolls off the tongue better as when I go with below right on the back of Chowdhury again. The Chowdhury train comes back to pick us up to the racing station. There you go.
Yeah, Albert Chowdhury has a 6.3 second gap to Rosetta Martinez. He's been holding up. He's been defending and holding up these guys quite a bit. As Silva tried to move out of the slipstream to make a move on below, but couldn't quite attack him there. But Fraser is really beginning to pull away now, and Weitz is just slowly trying to catch up to, or slowly trying to overtake the Dutchman. As there is Sundvik, who is still trying to get past Remus McGregor, but nothing has been happening there. But Sundvik, though, might be under pressure a bit, considering that there's Erik Adelberg, and he was trying to get ahead of the MP driver.
There you go, that's Olsen to the inside of the MP car, doesn't sorry, that's the Campos, doesn't kamikaze it into the side of the car though, and that's now Ollie Boakes making a move onto the Dams car. Contact flies on over the curb and into Hargood Olsen, but luckily no damage to both by the looks of it below. Attacking Chowdhury now, but once again he makes the same mistake of doing it too early, loses the RS, and now he's vulnerable to Eduardo Silva, and that trident goes to the inside. I think he might barge his way through here side by side through Brooklands into Luffield now. Still side by side, Silva is pushed into the not favourable outside line, loses a little bit of pace. Below is right on the back of Chowdhury again. No many moves happening now. Never mind, that is now one of the other ART car of Adelberg trying to go to the inside of Sundvik. They will go side by side into Maggots and Beckett's. The MP Motorsport car trying to find space for itself as Sundvik has to defend side by side. Contact between the two. Adelberg keeps it going though. Beautiful battle a bit overly aggressive, but as long as it's clean, right? Adelberg still side by side of Sundevic. He's not giving it up. Over the curb, so wide, on the edge and the limit here. But now he has to worry about Ari Soilu in the campus on his outside as they go side by side. Both have DRS. It is going to be Ari Soilu with the better line. He gets a bit of a squeeze onto the curbing though. He's going to probably try and do it into Vale now, onto Aldenberg in the ART. He goes to the inside. He pushes him a bit wide, side by side. He has to worry about the dams car now of Olsen on his inside. Olsen though, I think he might take him too aggressive on his pins. And there's contact, and that's drama on the exit of the final corner. A bit of a pile up there, and Bogues goes through. That's Blocker going through as well. Side by side now into turn one. That's very aggressive on Olsen. You don't kick the beaten man. It's a proverb in Polish. I can't translate it.
I think you mean, what do you say? Yeah. It's like beating the dead horse, right? Or whatever you say. And look at this. They're almost 3 wide here as Silva makes a bit of a contact with the rear of Chowdhury. Tries to get past Jean-Francois below here, as below defends the inside line, and Silva is going to be on the unfavorable line here, and he is going to lose out on a position. And there is Remus McGregor knocking on the doorstep of Eduardo Silva as the two are going to go wheel to wheel, and I think he's got it done before Copps. No, he hasn't. Silva is going to be on the inside line into Copps. No, he isn't. He's too far away to be able to defend his position, and thus Remus McGregor up into 8th position. There is Soilu and Sundevik fighting for position as the two go side by side, and you can see as Sundevik went very, very wide there, and Soilu unfortunately had to get on the brakes there a bit as Weitz chases down Ron Shotanus, who has an absolutely monstrous gap to Daniel Fraser.
As we can see below, going on to Chowdhury once again in this race. These two have a battling since the start, I believe, and it is now below in front of the Pakistani driver. I don't think this battle is over, especially if you look at the car, the amount of cars behind them. This is just the beginning, really, especially with all the DRS technology. But Fraser, meanwhile, speaking of Shotanus, I think we said something about him, but I wasn't there. I had to look up the house. Nearly a 3-second gap. Fraser has flown away today in his home Grand Prix.
Yeah, he really has, and I think it's going to be quite a memorable win for Daniel Fraser here at Silverstone as well. And at the opening round of the season, he once again proves that he can excel. There's Ida Weitz going a bit wide, I think, as he tries to chase down Rowan Shotanus. And looking a bit further down the field, there is Rosetta Martinez, who is trying to chase down the Brazilian Rodrigo Jimenez.
Yeah, the Univirtuosi car. There you go. Finally picking up some pace onto Jimenez. Martinez definitely trying to rebuild the image, especially considering the finish or finishing position of the sprint race. But here we go. Silva now involved in a battle with McGregor. Scotsman in front doing pretty well, but Silva is definitely hungry for a few more positions, especially considering his P2 in the sprint. Into Magnussen, Beckers a few near side-by-side moments. Adelberg is really impatient. He's really all over the back of Silva. He wants to get the job done as soon as possible. As I said, with 4 laps to go, the attitude completely changes. It's a sprint race, to glory, really. So we will see more aggressions. There's now Silva onto the Scotsman. He goes to the inside, tries to find a bit of space through, squeezes McGregor onto the outside curb. Beautiful overtake, but it's not done yet. McGregor's going to be still on his inside into Vale. They're going to go side by side into the chicane. The Trident goes a bit wide, but the Trident keeps the position despite that. Good defense from Eduardo Silva, but he's going to have to be cautious as he compromises exit. McGregor is still there. He's still on the back of him, and it's not going to be over that easily for the Trident driver. Weitz still closer to Fullenberg if you look at the timing board, but we're going to focus on this battle as Adelberg trying to get himself into 9th in front of McGregor. Silva currently probably happy in P8. Adelberg is going to think about making a move. It's a bit of a mistake from McGregor. They're going to be side by side on the exit of Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. There is no DRS for McGregor. Sorry, not McGregor, Adelberg. He screwed himself over, and now that's Riley Sundevik, the Swedish Croatian driver, side by side in the MP Motorsport car, is going to be the Korean driver. No, it's not gonna be. He's gonna be put onto the outside line. Goes onto the gravel, and Ali Soilu is going to use this way to fly past him. I could make a reference here, but I will not, as it's a very good overtake from Ali Soilu, being quick on reaction times, and he's up into 11th. As we're gonna go to It Device, who's right on the back of short on us. The Dutch driver has to be really careful because that Red Bull has been turned up to its maximum potential. He's going to try to squeeze his way through just like Eduardo Silva did onto his teammate. And there we go. It Device is through before Vale. No, they're going to still be side by side. Vice might have the better line. He goes a bit wide. He goes through the curbs there, but he is through. No way for short on us to fight back after that move. As we start lap 15 out of 16, 2 laps to go. Shotanus is not going to give that away. He will have the DRS on the Wellington straight, but thing is though, will he be able to use it, as Weitz is building a bit of a gap over the BWT HWA driver. Back in the field, not much battling, but yeah, what is it, Milan?
Have to say though, that was a wonderful overtake from Ida Weitz and Eduardo Silva. I have to say they did a fantastic job making the overtake there, but Ida Weitz, finally the patience pays off for the Swede, and it's going to be second place for him at the moment. Daniel Fraser obviously has absolutely pulled away in this race, and I do not think anyone will be able to challenge him, if I'm being honest. But Silva, he is not done yet, and it shows as he's chasing down Abrar Chowdhury for 7th position. Really, really well done from Eduardo Silva today. Really great piece of driving from the Brazilian.
Ever since he broke through McGregor, he's unlocked a lot of pace for himself as he pulled a gap that's over a second to Adelberg. Adelberg went through McGregor. McGregor trailing behind Adelberg as well. I think McGregor might have cooked his tyres this race. It's really not looking good for him, as now we're going to go with Sundevik. As they're about to enter Kopp's corner, there's a little pack for the final points paying position. Ari Soilu might get himself into that P10 for a single point. Where did Ari Soilu start? He started 13th, so this could be a nice promotion. As he makes a bit of a mistake though, clips the grass down the end, on the midpoint of Magus. It's not really good, but they're going to continue on. Soilu does have the pace. We have one more lap as Fraser has a 5-second gap. That's massive.
Really, really is reminiscent of Mohammed Patel in Formula 1 in 2017. He emulates his now retired countryman, as Silva is chasing down Chowdhury now as we approach the final lap of the Formula 2 British Grand Prix, and the battle is on here in the midfield. You've got Abrar Chowdhury, you've got Eduardo Silva, you've got Eric Aldenberg and Remus McGregor, who's just hanging on there as well. But Silva and Chowdhury are going to be the two main protagonists of this battle.
Yeah, as it's going to be interesting who takes P7. Chowdhury, obviously, amazing defense. Silva this race, though, has the offense, so we definitely will be treated to a very nice battle here between the Pakistani driver and the Brazilian in the high-tech and the Trident, respectively. Here we go into Brooklands through Luffield. Not gaining too much time, but Silva has the upper hand. He has the pace. He just has to use all of this in the correct place to maximize the gains to overtake Chowdhury. Here we go through Kops now. Not close enough to do anything yet. He's just going to trail Chowdhury through Maggots and Beckons and Chapel, and then on Hanger Straight with the full power and full might of DRS, he's going to try and gain that position. He is gaining time through, I think, Formula 1 fans' favourite section of the circuit. It is the most classic one. But here we go. Silva now with the slipstream on the back of the high-tech. It's surely going to be a move. He pulls to the inside very early. He's going to send it into Stoke side by side now. It's going to be a battle till the end. They're going to be still side by side, but I think Silva has got it before Vale. Yes, he has. Yes, he has done it. And now look at this. Is a sudden move from Adelberg. No, it isn't. It looked like he tried to pull to the inside there, but in the end he backed out of it. But it's a battle between the Carlin and the MP Motorsport car, and that's a spin for Sundevik. Oh no, he's done it, Jimenez, and he's rolling the car. He did keep the engine running though. Hidayat At least he will not finish dead last, as no pace from the Trident driver there. But drama for Sundevik on the final corner, on the final lap. Unfortunate.
That is a massive shame for really Sundevik, but it is gonna be Daniel Fraser, 3 years on from his first win. He is a winner on home soil as he wins the British Grand Prix. That is fantastic from Daniel Fraser. But now, let's go through the results. So Daniel Fraser takes the win here at Silverstone with the fastest lap as well. Fantastically done from him, and Idavites in second as well. Then we have Rowan Chatanis in third, followed by Jimenez in fourth, and I'll just skim through the rest of these. It's Martinez below Poco. I can't see what that reads.
No, that's not Poco, that's Silva.
Silva, yes. Silva, Chowdhury, Adelberg, McGregor, Soilu, and then we have Bose, Olsen, Poco. Is that Broster? Yes, it is. Hidayat, Sundevik, and the non-finishers are Schwulenberg, Konkum, Dragovic, Walji, and Grissom. And there we go. That's all she wrote for the Formula 2 British Grand Prix. And what a way to kick off the F2 season, right, Kai?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Amazing racing. Just good things, really. Not much else to say other than that was fantastic. Plenty of action. That's what you want from a racing series like this.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And I think just before we go, driver of the day.
It divides. I'm just going to say it. I mean, the raw pace, amazing overtakes. I mean, he just kind of charmed me, but also you have, Fraser winning after 3 years. I think that deserves an honorable mention.
I completely agree with you. I'm going to be honest. I mean, especially the fact that he came off such a poor 2019 season. It's absolutely fantastic to see Ida with this amazing pace back once again. And I really hope he'll be able to keep it up through the season, because that'll be absolutely fantastic to see. But yeah, Idavites gets our driver of the day. But that has been it for Formula 2 today. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a fantastic couple of races here at Silverstone. And the action obviously doesn't stop this weekend. Tomorrow we have the Formula 1 British Grand Prix, the main event of this weekend. Make sure to not miss the start of the 2020 Formula 1 season. But until then, I've been Miran.
And I've been Kai.
Thanks so much for watching the ACOC World